Hi, and welcome to the Virgin River Cafe Rewatch podcast. Good morning, Gigi.
Good morning, Tracy. How are you today?
Oh, it's been a busy week, but we're winding down the summer. Kids are getting ready to go back to school soon. And there was this commercial years ago where the parents got all giddy shopping for school supplies because it means the kids go back to school because they've been at home for like 2 months, and you're like kind of done. And yeah, I'm there. I'm living the dream. Kind of excited to get back in school and it's like a bittersweet, it's like the grind of the school year is rough, but summer can be rough too, and you're a parent. So,
Well, there's also, yeah, because you got to find things to keep them occupied.
not just that, just like they've got stuff to do and you're trying to get them to do it, and I just want to be done. So, it's the last year. She's a senior, so there's a lot happening this year. So it's going to be a very, very busy year. So we're just gotta buckle down and get through it.
Roll with the punches, my friend.
And then we'll just keep recording episodes while we're while we're in the middle of the chaos. So
Yes, that's okay. And hopefully, by the time we're done recording, our new season will start.
oh
And
yeah, we've got. I haven't heard yet. They did announce the 10 in alphabetical order. They announced the 10 titles of the episodes, but
okay,
they and sometimes they give you a hint about like this season. A couple of the titles had like they were song lyrics and some different things like that people tried to like figure out what they meant. And that's always
uh-huh.
fun to try and like figure out the meaning and what order they're in and what that all means. So we have some titles, and usually they tell us the directors of the episode, so it's just a matter of time. We haven't heard, I don't know. I mean, there's talk that it could be end of the year, it could be beginning of next year. I mean, honestly, we're not going to know for a bit. So,
They love keeping us in suspense, my friend.
yeah. So, what are you drinking today?
Today, I'm drinking tea. And so, a client of mine whose mother-in-law is English, brought this frou-frou fancy tea from France.
Nice.
And yes, so I tried it out. I liked it warm because, I generally drink everything hot. But then I tried it. I made like a cold version of it,
Like an iced
iced
tea?
tea,
Mm-hmm.
an iced tea, and it was really good.
Oh, nice.
I actually prefer the iced tea version than the warm, to be honest, which
Hmm.
is surprising.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm having this frou French tea from Paris. So
Nice.
we'll see. Anyway, yeah, that's what I'm having this morning.
I decided to get myself a iced. It's called an iced brown sugar shaken espresso. It's just
Interesting.
with oat milk. So it's
All,
just it's
all
just
right.
like one of those fancy ones that they have, and it's
Yeah.
really good. It's creamy, so I really like it. So I decided to go for that this morning. I went out and got that one.
Yeah,
So
I have tried oat milk. I am not a fan. Sorry.
I don't
They have,
drink
they have,
oat milk, but a splash of it in your coffee, it's a little
oh,
creamier.
okay. Well, I've tried it, and
No.
maybe I have to try it again. But what I've tried, I have not been a fan. Let's just put it.
No, it's not for everybody, but it's an option. So,
It's definitely an option that I am not really thrilled about. So,
mm,
but to each his own, as I like to say.
exactly. But we're caffeinated,
And
so let's get
yes,
started.
we are. So we are in season 6, episode 4, brothers and sisters.
Oh,
Ooh,
now this is fun. This is where we start the real wedding prep.
preparation.
Yeah. So the it says old tensions and buried feelings emerge when Mel and Jack's pre-wedding parties get a little rowdy. Lizzie and Denny are uncertain about their future.
Uh,
I guess we'll
those
see.
two, those
They're
two
so
were
young.
definitely
They're so
yeah.
young.
Why we
And this was an unexpected
don't get pregnant at
pregnancy.
that age.
Yeah, I mean, it was unexpected. There was always like people were always on the internet going, is it Ricky's? Was she pregnant when he left? And the timing just was so long, like so far that didn't work.
Exactly. Yeah, I was
But I
like,
mean, I could
how?
see them, I could see some drama, but I'm like, yeah, we already did a Who's the Daddy. We don't need to do that again. Like, right? Like, we did that already. Let's not repeat. Let's not repeat. Let's be original.
No, rinse and repeat, huh?
Teen pregnancy. Let's go there.
Okay.
So we are starting off with a little bit of scenery, and then we've got Jack and Mel because they're going to go to their bachelor and bachelorette parties. Remember, Bree
Mhm.
and Preacher insisted that this needs to happen. It was for them, of course, they were planning it, but they're like, no, we must have bachelor and bachelorette. So Mel's getting ready. She's putting on some makeup, looking in the mirror, and he's getting dressed. And she's like, "Did Preacher tell you anything about your bachelor party?" And he's like, "Well, only thing I need is combat boots." And he's like, "Well, what about Bree? Did she give you anything?" And she's like, "The dress code is urban cowgirl." He goes, "What does that even mean?"
Oh, that leaves a lot to the imagination.
Right? So Mel's puffing her hair and she goes, "Oh, I don't know, like denim jacket, push up bra." He goes, "Oh, that sounds like my kind of party." So he's reaching underneath the bed and he has his steamer trunk. He's a trunk that he keeps all of his gear from his days as a Marine. And he's asking her, "What about Joey? Is she going to make it in?" And Mel's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm sure she's exhausted, but she'll rally, want to make it special." So he opens up his trunk, and it's his dress uniform, his dress blues. So those are the fancy things that Marines wear. And then he has a few other things in there. He's got his boots, and he's looking at his dress blues, and he's touching it, and she's like, "Wow, I bet you'd look great in that." And he's kind of looking at it and thinking, he goes, "Yeah, it's been a while since I wore it." And then all of a sudden they get interrupted by a car honking. And so she's like, "Oh, gotta go." And she gets her purse. She's all ready to go. And he goes, "You get a chauffeur?" And he goes, "I get a chauffeur." He goes, "Yeah, Bree booked us a stretch limo for the entire day." It's like, oh, how special. They're really going all out on this.
I'm telling you.
So he's like, "Oh, really?" And she's like, "Mm-hmm. Nice kiss." He walks her to the door. They open up the door to walk outside. And they see, and she's so excited. He's like, "Wow, it's like
Whoa,
a stretch hot pink
limo.
SUV limo," and it's
That
like
is that's a serious limo there, my friend.
it is hot pink, like it's Virgin River. That thing's gonna stand out like a sore thumb anywhere they go.
It reminds me of those of the teenagers and their
Yep,
graduations.
yep.
You know, how they, oh my
I
God.
mean, Mel is astonished. Her mouth's wide open, like, "Oh my gosh." She goes, "I mean, only the best for your bride to be." They're both laughing at this big pink limo. He goes, "Yeah, obviously." Hugs and kisses. He goes, "Don't have too much fun without me, okay?" And she's like, "Me? Never." So she's all giddy as she goes off in her cowboy boots and her denim jacket, trying to be urban cowgirl. And he's just shaking his head. So they're over at Bree's house, and it looks like Kaya is part of the fun. And they've got pink boas and bridesmaid tiaras on their head and all kinds of pink cowgirl hats and all these like really fun things. She goes, "Okay, we've got all the bachelorette essentials: boa, tiara." And Mike comes downstairs in his fatigue pants and black t-shirt, like, and then
My God.
Bree's like, "Penis straws and a very sexy," and Kaya's like, "Oh."
Yes.
And they're looking at him and they're like, "GI Mike, hello there, sir." And they're
Ah,
both looking eyes at him. He goes, "What's with the look?" And they're both looking at him. She's like, She goes, "I don't know." He goes, "I'm just following preacher's orders," with a big smirk on his face. And Bree's like, "Mm-hmm. Oh." And she goes, "Hunky Hanks, gotta take this." So Kaya is grabbing the phone and somebody named Hunky Hank is calling her. And she goes, "What's hunky?" And Bree's like shaking her head, like, "No, never mind. I don't want to know." He's just like, we're not going to talk about that."
Yeah, it's best, the less you know, the less you have to say.
Right. And so she asked him, she goes, "So, are you excited for today?" And he's like, "Yeah." He goes, "It's been a while since the guys from the unit have hung out, so." And he's like, "Listen, I know we haven't really talked about the other night." And she's shaking her head, no. She goes, "I think I was just in my head about the trial and everything." He's like, "You were really sweet, wanting to make sure that I was okay." And he's like, "Okay. Are you okay?" She's like, "Of course. I'm more than okay." He goes, "Okay, well then maybe tonight we can And she's like, "Yeah. I'll even bring the handcuffs." He goes, "That's my job." She goes, "Well, see, mine are pink and furry." So, and they both laughing, little kiss. And Kaya comes back and she's like, quick, they don't have a Marine, so a firefighter or a cop." Now, she's asking that to Bree. Funny how Brady is the firefighter and Mike is the cop.
Yeah,
Mm.
exactly.
Yeah, so she looks at Bree and the look on
Look on
Bree's
my
face. Mike, she looks at Mike, looks him up and down. She looks back at Kai and she goes, "Cop, obviously." And Mike's like, "Mm-hmm."
Ah, yes.
So, a nice kiss. He goes, "GI Mike, shipping out." Off he goes. As she watches him as he leaves. Now, in the limo, which is a very big, long, pink stretch limo, it's Mel and Joey. And Joey's like, "Wow, Bree and Kaya really went all out." And she goes, "It was so last minute, too." She goes, "Yeah, I know." She goes, "Thank you so much for coming." And Joey's like, "Are you kidding?" She goes, "When my sister's future sister in law calls me out of the blue and tells me to get on a flight, I get on a flight." She goes, "We weren't planning on doing this, but, after Preacher's trial, I think that everyone needs to let off a little steam." She goes, "Oh, yeah, totally makes sense." So she asked her, "How's wedding planning coming?" She goes, "Well, we're making headway." She goes, "Good. And I'm going to ask Everett to walk me down the aisle." And Joey's like, "Wow, really?" And she goes, "I didn't realize you two were getting so close." And she goes, "Well, it's taken some time. Remember, it's been about like 4 months." She goes, "But I feel like he's finally opening up." And Joey's like, "Great." She goes, "Do you think that you'll be able to meet him this weekend?" She goes, "I wish I could. I have to get back for Morgan's softball finals, so." She's like, "Right." Well, she goes, "You'll meet him at the wedding." And they pull up, and Kaya and Bree are decked
Oh,
out with the
this is
boas.
this is hysterical.
They've got wine bottle and they've got sashes that say Team Bride, and they're decked out
They
and
are ready to
rocking it.
party. And please understand, this is not just pink.
No,
This
this is
is
hot pink.
this is hot pink. And I love pink, but whoa.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
So the two of them are climbing into the limo, and Bree yells, "Are you ready to get batshit crazy?" It's funny because it's Netflix. You can cuss. Because on regular
yeah,
TV, you can say, like, damn and hell, but you really can't, bitch, maybe. But you really can't say much more than that. Especially, you couldn't say batshit crazy on regular TV. Like, that's just a no no. But it's so funny that they just don't even care. They're like, "Let's go have some fun." So Joey raises her hand. She's like, "I'm ready." And they're like, "Oh, hi, Joey." It's so great that they've included Kaya because keep in mind how many women are Mel's age in town.
exactly.
I
Yeah,
mean, the
it's
only
nice.
person not included is Charmaine, and for obvious reasons.
It's nice that Mel has a nice rounded amount of friends her own
I
age.
mean,
So not many.
it's really just like Lizzie's too young. All the all the ladies are too old.
Yeah.
Even Muriel's a little older. She's like probably 12, 15 years older than Mel. So
Mhm.
really it's only Bree and Kaya and Mel. They're
Yeah.
the only three that are the same age. So it's the three of them. But that's okay cuz you know what? You add Joey to the mix, it's a party.
Yeah. You have your little community.
Yep.
You know.
I'm so
Or
glad
is
that
one
they've brought her in. I'm so glad they brought Kaya in because she's fun.
I have a friend who uses the word hens. She
Yes.
has her hens.
So they're like, "Oh, we're so glad that we're together." And Bree's like, "It's all for you, baby," as she pops the cork. Uh-oh, it's spilling out. So now we get some beautiful scenery. I noticed that they're using different scenery for the in-between shots.
Yeah.
Before it was like probably the same five or six, the river or the mountain, very similar. But now it's like there's a waterfall. It's just a different view. It's like an overhead view of like the waterfall. It's beautiful. I mean, this place is just breathtaking. I Someday I would love to go there. It's just so beautiful. So now we're back, and Lizzie, she looks like she's at the clinic, but she's looking at some box, and it could be a baby monitor. I don't know. She goes, "Some moms send cute onesies when their daughter's expecting." And she's with Hope, and she goes, "My mom sends this thing." She goes, "And balm for chapped nipples." Like, she is so perplexed. Like, why is her mother sending these specific things? Hope's like, "I'll take a practice gift over a cute one any day." She goes, "A onesie isn't going to feed your daughter." She goes, "When she's crying in the middle of the night." Lizzie's looking, and there's a book. She goes, "At least she sent my favorite book from when I was a kid, The Runaway Bunny." And Hope's like, "Oh, how sweet." She goes, "Anyway, I should be going." Lizzie says, "I need to pick up some posters and things." She goes, "Oh, and Ricky texted me. We're gonna take a walk." They have a lot to discuss. She goes, "I want to make sure we're cool before he ships out." She's like, "Oh, how patriotic of you." Just then, there's a knock at the door, and it's Muriel. She goes, "Hi, Muriel." And as Lizzie heads her way out, Muriel sits down and she goes, "Are you playing hooky?" She goes, "No, Doc gave me the day off." And Hope's like shocked. She goes, "My Doc?" She goes, "Yeah. I think he's beginning to realize the value in a little personal time." She's like, "Oh, well, it only took him 30 years." So Hope's like, "What's up?" She goes, "I have a favor to ask." And this is when she's getting a little serious. Now, remember, Muriel has not told anybody about her lump except for Mel. Mel's the only one that knows. She may have told Doc. We don't know yet because he's a doctor and it's a medical thing, and that's why she's got a personal day. But not any of her friends. And she's only gotten really close with them, like in the last season or two. Because in the beginning, she was always sort of on the outside, but they've really brought her in the last couple of seasons. So she tells Hope, she goes, "I'm getting a biopsy in Clear River today. And I was wondering if you wouldn't mind taking me." And Hope's like, "A biopsy?" And she's like, "Yeah, I found a lump in my breast the night that I was supposed to go out with Walt. And that's why I canceled the date." And she goes, "Oh, Muriel. No, no, no." She goes, "Don't go there." She goes, "Don't owe Muriel me. I don't want to make a big deal out of this." She goes, "I just want to ride and to keep this between us." And Hope's like, "I'm your girl." That's good that Hope can be there for her because she really needs somebody. So it looks like we are at Jack's bar, and Brady is not so thrilled with his soup. And he's looking at Lark. Lark is not looking happy, and he's not looking happy with her. And he's like, "Can I ask you something?" Now, remember just what? The day before when he saved that kid from the cave in pit? He ran into the kid's uncle, and the uncle told him that Lark's mom was playing cards. Do you remember that?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and like drinking, and she was good enough to drink him under the table. So it's not fitting that Lark, oh, she's so sick and she can't do anything, but yet she's playing cards and drinking him
And
under the
drinking.
table. Something's not right. So he's obviously suspicious. So he's like, "Can I ask you something?" And she's like, "Anything." And he's like, "Is your mom really sick?" And she kind of chuckles and she's like, "What? What are you talking about?" He goes, he's like, "I ran into Frank, from the camps. He said your mom was fine, that she was out drinking and playing cards." And Lark is like, "She was out drinking?" Like she's getting mad. She goes, "What did Frank say?" Unbelievable. The doctor tells her she needs to cut back. She never takes care of herself. She goes, that's why I'm trying to help her. And then she gets all sad. And he's like, Brady, she's like, where's this coming from? And he's like, I just want us to be honest with each other. That's it. She's like, you don't believe me? She's like, Brady, if we're going to work, you're going to need to trust me. She grabs his hand. She goes, you know, you could tell me anything. I'm not Bree. He goes, yeah, I know. He goes, forget I said anything. Oh, she reeled him back in. He's like, I gotta go. I still got some stuff to do before Jack's bachelor party. Oh, this girl.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she is playing it up. So now she's going to have to do something. She's going to have to, like, cover her tracks better, act better, keep her mom from playing cards. I don't know. Not that she didn't seem the type that would share any of that money with her mom.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. She's so slimy, you know? Gosh.
It's all going to come back and bite poor Brady.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely going to come back on Brady. Of course, like the last person that needs any problem. So we're back at the clinic, and Doc is talking to Denny, and he's like, I wanted to talk to you about our next patient. Yeah, Greg O'Neill, 62 years old, stage 3 Parkinson's disease. And he's like, his disease is progressing. If you're worried about me being able to handle a patient, because, you know, Denny has Graves' disease, so Doc's worried about him. He goes, a patient with a neurodegenerative disease, you don't have to. And Doc's like, okay. He goes, I've got this. Now, Frank, his hand is shaking. Doc explains that Denny is there doing internship, and the patient, he's like, so, what's shaking? And, of course, Denny laughs, and Doc laughs, and the wife kind of rolls her eyes, and she's like, oh, if I had a nickel for every time he's made that joke. And Denny's like, oh, it's wonderful to meet the two of you. And Doc's like, so, what brings you in today other than Greg working on his new material? And he's like, well, Greg's symptoms have been flaring up more at night. Trouble sleeping. He's like, yeah. And he goes, he's getting up, taking baths in the middle of the night to try and relax his muscles. He goes, but last night he slipped on his way out of the tub. She goes, and I found him this morning asleep on the bathroom floor. And he was there for 2 hours before I woke up. And he was like, I was fine. I didn't want to wake you. He goes, she needs her beauty rest. And she smacks him. He goes, you're saying I'm not beautiful? Everybody chuckles a little bit. He's like, yeah, but she's exhausted. She's been there for me 24/7. Now, Denny, you can see the look on his face because he knows that once his Graves' disease gets to a point where he needs to be taken care of, it's going to be Lizzie that has to do it. And it's like he's looking at his future. And I don't think he likes what he sees.
Yeah.
It's a little scary.
It's a little too close to home, as they say.
Yeah, a little scary. So Doc asks him any nausea, headaches, blurred vision. He goes, no, nothing I can't handle. And so Doc's kind of like checking his muscles, and the guy's like groaning because he's in pain. And he's like, the worst part since we got sick, it's watching him suffer like this. That's what the wife is telling Doc. And he goes, there must be something more we can do for him. And the longer that this goes on, the more uncomfortable Denny looks. And Doc looks at the wife and he goes, Gladys, you're doing everything you possibly can do and then some. And she just looks sad. Like, ugh. He goes, let me ask you a question. When was the last time you played bridge with the ladies? And she's like, oh, gosh, I can't even remember. He goes, well, you know, if you're hired a full-time live-in aide. She goes, what? No. He goes, it's okay. We're okay. And he's like, we're not okay, honey. He goes, it's time. He looks at Doc. So they're at the point that they need to hire some extra help. And Denny is almost in tears. And he's just standing there watching this. It's like, this is a lot harder for him than he thought it was going to be. So now we're with the guys. And they're at a place called Ball of Duty. They're all dressed in their fatigues, and they got their hats and their goggles. And it looks like they're going to play paintball.
Oh.
So one of the guys is like, still time to abort the mission? And the guys are like, oh, come on, no way. And he goes, yeah, ignore Tommy. He's just jealous. Who would have thought a shotgun wedding in Vegas wouldn't last? Because he's the guy that got married real quick.
Ever played paintball?
Yeah, no, I've never played.
Uh, I've played it once. Oh, it's brutal.
It can be
It's
painful. I've seen the after effects because both
it's
Maya's played
it,
it and my husband has played it.
it's brutal. I played it at one of I went to a bat mitzvah and they had like the night before the services they rented out the place that you go to do it. Oh my! It was the kids against the
Oh
adults.
no,
Oh, we got
Clamor.
totally slammered like nobody's business.
Yeah,
I mean, I fortunately for me, I'm a cover my hair kind of person because that would have not been fun to get out of my hair.
right.
It was disastrous
And
and
painful.
it,
It hurts.
and it's painful. Yeah,
Yeah,
it is
it'll
painful.
leave a
You
welt if
know,
you get hit the right way.
exactly. I mean, the only thing, fortunately, the one rule that they had was nobody shoots anybody in the face.
Well, yeah, that's a basic. Yeah,
You know,
they're not
but
allowed to do
you
that.
don't know. You huh, you get a bunch of 13-year-olds around. Are you kidding me? They don't care where they hit you. Are
Yeah,
you kidding me?
that's
They're
true.
out for blood.
Well,
They're
that's why
out
they
for
make the
blood.
rules. That's why there's rules.
Anyway, yes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, they are gearing up. And the rest of the guys show up, and he's like, "What about you, Mike? Getting down on one knee for Bree anytime soon?" And he kind of looks like a deer in headlights.
Ooh,
He's like, well, I don't know about that, you know." And they're like, "Third time's the charm," because he's been married twice and divorced twice. They don't talk much about that. When he first came to
yeah,
town and was talking to Jack, he
yeah.
spilled those beans, and then he was engaged to a girl that his pastor introduced him to at his church, but then it was long distance and it didn't work out. And then they look at Brady, and Brady's like a little uncomfortable about this conversation because,
Well, he's never been married.
yeah, but Brady was just with Bree like 5 minutes ago, and now Mike is with her, and that's a very uncomfortable situation.
Well, this is what happens when you live in a small town.
Yeah. So the guys are messing with him, and they're like, "Oh, don't pressure the guy. One wedding at a time, right? Let's focus on Jack. Let's get the focus back where it needs to be." Zeke is like, "I might wear this to the wedding. I look good." Jack's like, "No, no, no, no." So what are we wearing? Suit, dress blues, what? Like the guys are trying to figure out what he's gonna do because he really hasn't said. Remember, he saw his dress blues when he opened his trunk under the bed to get his gear out for this, but he hasn't decided what he's gonna wear. Like, "You can fit in your dress blues, bro." And he goes, "Shots fired." He goes, "Ooh, that's spicy." So they're just messing with him. They're just messing with him.
Oh yeah.
So one of the guys asked him when the last time that he wore his dress blues was. And of course, what I suspected was Lonergan's funeral.
Funeral, exactly.
And that's usually where you wear it: weddings, funerals, ceremonies. Preacher's like, "Fellas, let's coordinate our outfits later, all right? Like, let's get down to business while we're here." He goes, "We're here to kick some ass." And he goes, "Hell yeah, who are we up against?" And Preacher's like, "No idea." And Jack's like, "Well, whoever steps onto the battlefield today is in for a fight of their lives, all right? You know, we may have a little more gray, but carry a little extra armor, but I would ride into battle with you boys until we're too old to get ourselves out. Damn straight." So they're like, "Oorah," because that's the Marine way. And coming around the
Oh,
corner, we have a bunch of teenagers. Oh my God. Seriously?
yes.
And the kid goes, "Hey." And he goes, "Stop barking, boomers." Oh my God. He goes, "You bush campers are going down." He goes, "Yeah, you're going down, you bush camper." Jack says back to him. And Jack's like, "What's a bush camper?" And Mike's like, "I have no idea." He knows what a boomer is. Oh, and one of the kids shoots one of the guys right in the scary spot. This is where a guy does not want to get hit. Oh, see, that's playing dirty. That's not
Exactly.
cool. That's not cool. And so then they all scatter. And he's like, hey, are you okay? He's like, ah. The guy's groaning
I
and
don't
everybody
think so.
scatters. Oh, that's dirty. You're not supposed to play dirty. I think it's like you're not supposed to hit there or the face. Like, I think there are
Yeah.
rules about that. But, these are just kids. So,
Well, do you see my point where I was talking about
yep.
where they
Take no prisoners.
nope, they have no moral compass, some of
Nope.
them.
Mm-mm. So we have a beautiful shot of the town, as always. And the ladies are at a cute little place. It looks like they're having some kind of brunch because it looks like they have mimosas. Brie, she's like, so this is the first bachelorette destination of 3. And everybody's like, okay. She goes, representing Mel's past, present, and future. She goes, oh. And she goes, so boozy brunches with the ladies? Kaya says. She goes, so L.A. She goes, I hope this doesn't mean that boozy brunches are only in my past. She goes, oh, no, 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 no. We will cheers to that. She goes, and to the maid and matron of honor. And Kaya, that's what Kaya says, to the maid and matron of honor. And Joey kind of looks at Bree and looks at Mel and looks at Kaya, and she's like, oh, we're co-maids of honor?
Oh boy.
I don't think she told her that. And Mel's like, oh, well, not exactly. Like, she's the maid and you're the matron. She goes, I mean,
Oh,
it's a little outdated.
okay. You notice that Mel is trying to make everybody happy in this wedding?
Always.
Okay.
Always.
Because she messed up with Doc and now she's fooling
Yeah.
around now with the sister. Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense to have, because her sister is,
Yeah.
her
But
sister's married and her
yes,
sister-in-law
but
to be is not, but
yeah, but no, but
she
my
should have
point
had
about
a
it is
conversation.
exactly. And the thing about it is, as much as she and Bree have gotten close, this is her do die person, is her sister.
I know.
You know, it's one thing if you and your sister don't get along and
Right.
you don't give her rats, you know what. But you and your sister are thick as thieves.
Yeah.
You should have had that conversation.
She should. And I
I'm
get it. I'm
sorry.
glad that she's got the maid and the matron. I think that is
Yeah,
appropriate, but she definitely
yeah,
should have called Joey and had the conversation before she got there.
yeah,
That
yeah,
was, and I think sometimes Mel does stuff like this because she doesn't want the drama. So if she
yeah.
springs it on them, then it's like it's
But
done.
then the drama,
I
yeah, but
know.
then the drama raises its ugly head, and
I
then you have
know.
now this awkward moment
It's
now with
awkward. Yeah.
her sister. Okay.
Yeah. And she's like, it's actually anti-feminist now that she's saying it out loud, having a maid of honor and a matron of honor. And Joey just looks a little uncomfortable. She's like, but I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I told you. And Joey's like, no, you didn't. But hey, it makes sense because she's about to be your sister too. She goes, yeah. She goes, I mean, you're my OG, and I wanted you both in the wedding. My OG and my new G, right? She goes, I hope that's okay. She goes, yeah, it's great. I love it. It's great. Like, you can tell it's not great.
Mm-hmm. And Mel knows it too.
Yeah. And everybody looks a little uncomfortable. And then Joey's like, who wants
Uh-huh.
another drink? Gosh, yeah, that's rough. We're back at the bar, and Hope and Muriel show up, and Hope is fawning all over her. She's like, how do you feel? Any pain? And Muriel's like probably about ready to smack her.
So,
She's like, no,
yep.
I feel the same as I did 30 seconds ago when you asked. Still fine. She goes, and of course you are. She goes, you're such a trooper. She goes, oh, for the love of God, Hope, look at me. I am fine. Truly. I mean, if it turns out that I do have cancer, then I do not want every day to be a countdown to my funeral. I want every day to be a celebration. And Hope's like, then let's start celebrating. She's like, okay. Because she's got to like Hope just went doom and gloom, and Muriel's like, no, we're not going to do this. Okay, so we're walking in the park, and it's Lizzie and Ricky, and they've got to clear the air. She overreacted. He said things he probably shouldn't have said. It was very awkward. They left things kind of weird. And so before he goes off to war, she wants to kind of like clear the air. And so they're walking, and she's like, I'm really sorry. And he's like, listen, last time I saw you, I didn't mean to be such a jerk about you being pregnant. And she's like, you weren't a jerk. She goes, I was just being defensive. I think I'm just kind of freaking out. She's like today, I got this care package from my mom, and it had all the practical baby stuff, and it just made everything feel so real. Like it's really coming true. I mean, not that the big belly she's carrying around isn't real enough, but he's like, I get it. She goes, now that I'm actually getting deployed, things are starting to feel pretty real for me too. It's a lot to handle. She's like, do you have anyone you can talk to? He's like, well, there's this one friend at boot camp. We can talk about anything, which has been really nice. It's nice to have someone who just understands what you're going through. She's like, yeah. She was like, well, what about Denny? He must be freaking out a little too, right? And she's like, no. He seems super excited. He can't wait to be a dad, which is why I don't want to burden him with my stupid fears, you know. She goes, your fears aren't stupid. If you tell Denny how you feel, I'm sure he'd listen. She goes, yeah, it's just, how do you tell the father of your child that you're scared to be a mom? To take all that on, you know? I mean, she did not have a good role model at all. So
Oh, hell yeah.
it feels like he's depending on me to be what she needs because they're having a baby girl. And she looks down at her belly and she's like, and she is too. She's crying. And he's like, hey, it's okay. He's like, you remember that party in Dismore? Afterwards, we walked down to the Forest Hill Bridge. She's like, yeah, that was where we had our first kiss. He's like, you remember what you said to me that night? She's like, that I see you? He's like, well, I see you, Lizzie, who you've become. You've turned your whole life into a life, and it is so beautiful. And she's crying. He's like, when I met you, you didn't know how to do that, but you figured it out. She's like, yeah, I guess I did. He's like, plus, I think the fact that you're scared to be a mom means that you're already a good one. She goes, it means that you love your baby and you want to do right by her. And that's all she needs. Probably all Denny needs too. He gives her a hug. I mean, she needed the pep talk, and who else is she going to get it from? I mean, he knew
Yeah.
her when she first moved to town, so he
Yep.
knows how far she's come.
And she was a mess when she moved to town.
Ugh.
Oh,
Yeah, she was. She was just spoiled and entitled and, you know, a mess. And now she's grown up so much. She's matured so much. I mean, yeah, it's probably a little sudden to be having a baby, but, you know, there they are. It's really beautiful there with the bridge and the. So the ladies, the sewing circle godmothers helping with Mel with her dress, are all at Jack's bar. And Liddy's like, oh, I'm starting to wonder if we'll ever finish the lacework by hand. Because this is a big project. She goes, in time for the wedding. She goes, Joellen's like, it will all be worth it once we see Mel floating down the aisle. She goes, oh, yes, she will be a vision. And Hope shows up. She goes, good morning, ladies. And she's like, what's this all about? Because Hope has brought Hannah with wine glasses, and it looks like wine or champagne or something. And she goes, Muriel and I were inspired by Mel's bachelorette party. Why should they have all the fun? Needles down, ladies. And everyone drops their needles. She goes, for the rest of the day, we're going to celebrate too. And they're like, celebrate what? And Hope is like, life. And Muriel's like, and friendship. She goes, but mostly to having our own damn party, Joellen yells. And everybody yells, to having our own damn party. And they start pouring wine. All right, so now we're back at the paintball game. And the guys are running around. The music is great. They're running around and they're shooting at these kids. They're doing pretty good. Hiding and coming around the corner. I mean, they've got combat experience. So, you know, they've technically, oh man, that poor guy got shot in the, one guy got shot in the butt. Another one got shot in the balls. So these kids are brutal. Like, they give up. Some of the guys are out because once you get shot, you're out. And Preacher and Jack are like teaming up, and they're using their like hand signals from when they were back in Kandahar and all that. Oh, and then Preacher gets shot in the back. And it's from a kid who's up in a tree. And he's just a little smartass. So we've got Brady and Mike together, which is kind of hilarious.
Good Lord. Yes.
And he's like, okay, these kids are brutal. If you lay down some suppressive fire, keep them under cover. Mike's given the orders. He goes, I'll swing around and attack the flank. He goes, or we could just be cool. And he just goes out, barreling, shoots one guy, shoots another guy. So I guess they're just going to go balls out.
Oh,
And then, Mike gets shot. Brady gets shot. He goes, come on, man. Jack looks like he's one of the only ones left. And he's sneaking around, and the kid's trying to sneak around, and he's on the other side of the tree. They're both on the tree. Oh, and Jack gets it right in the chest. He goes, enjoy your retirement. And then as he turns around, he shoots the kid, even though he's already done. And he goes, oh, and he goes, asshole. So they basically,
I just
these
love the look
old
on
guys
Jack's face.
got taken.
I just love the look on Jack's face.
Yeah, the
It's
defeat.
just, he's pissed at himself as well.
Oh, yeah. The look of defeat is just
Well,
like,
they think,
man, these
well,
kids.
I know they think they still got it, you know.
And they probably
And
would in a real life, combat situation, but apparently not in paintball where you can play dirty. So,
in war, you can play dirty too. It's
yeah, but it's a little different when you've got real guns.
Oh
Oh,
God,
funny. Oh my gosh.
yes. Anyway,
So now we're back with the ladies, and it looks as if they are at a place full of axe throwing. Like, interesting choice for a bachelorette party. And Mel is like trying really hard, and she threw an axe, and it bounced off, didn't hit anything. Then she hit one, bullseye. Nice job. They're like, oh, that was very impressive, Bree says. She goes, yeah, what exactly does throwing axes have to do with my present? And she's like, well, you and Jack bought a farm, and you rescued a horse. She goes, oh, no, 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 no. We are babysitting a horse. And Bree's like, this is your Cowgirl moment. Kaya's like, yeehaw. Now they're watching Joey, and Joey is having a hard time. She's throwing these axes, but she's also very pissed. So
yep.
she's not only throwing them, but she's getting frustrated too. She's like, okay, I'm just going to try that again. Like, she's getting really frustrated. Mel's like, okay. And the girls are like, is she okay? And she goes, I just think she's feeling a little out of place. She goes, she's always been more urban than cowgirl. She goes, do you think it's the whole co-maid of honor thing? And Mel's like, yeah, I think so. As she's still trying very hard to get this axe where it needs to go and just keeps missing. And Mel's like, I swear I thought I told her. And the look on Bree's face is like, oops. Like, you might want to fix that. So she's like, do you guys think that maybe there's some time to slot in something that she would really like? They're like, yeah, totally, of course. We can adjust our plans. You never know what the future holds. So she's like, okay, I'm going to go get her before she hurts herself or anyone else. She goes, okay. So Bree is like to Kaya. She goes, are you good to call the firefighter? And she goes, I thought you chose a cop. And Bree's like, oh, right. Yeah. Just sorry. Got confused. Like, She has firefighter on the brain.
Mm-hmm.
And Akaya's like, between a firefighter and a cop, right? And she looks at Bree. She goes, yeah, that's a tough one. Like, she's totally playing into this. And Bree's looking at her like, mm-hmm. And so Mel goes over to Joey, and she's like, so what do you say we do a little something more us? And Joey's like, She goes, but Bree and Kai have the whole day planned. She goes, yeah, but they're cool with it. I promise you're going to love it. She goes, okay, I mean, whatever you want. You're the bride. As she kind of like does that with a axe in her hand. And so she's swinging her arms around, and Mel grabs the axe very carefully. She goes, I'm just going to take this. She takes the axe from her. She puts it down. She goes, we're just going to leave that here. And I think they head out. We are back at the clinic, and it looks like Denny is hard at work on his laptop making some notes. And Doc's like, hey, are you ready to head out? And he's like, I was thinking maybe I'd grill some of that trout I caught the other day. And Denny's like, oh, you go ahead. I told Muriel I'd stick around and clean up a little bit. He goes, and restock the toilet paper and, glamorous life of an intern. And he goes, yeah. He says, so what are you doing here? And he's like, going above and beyond for Greg and Gladys, right? And he goes, yeah, well, they've been through a lot. He goes, and I figured I should know about it too, because, well, Doc's like, you're not going to have to worry about all of that. And he goes, yeah, but I can't stop thinking about Gladys. He goes, the way she said, ever since we got sick, I never want Lizzie to find me on the bathroom floor. He's like, every spouse worries about how they're going to handle the in sickness and in health part of the wedding vows. I mean, Doc's trying to ease him into this and comfort him because he's freaking out about what his future's going
Yeah,
to look like.
and also to help him with some common sense thinking as
Right,
well.
right. Doc's like, I mean, look at Hope and me. We both had to face health issues recently. Yeah, she had a traumatic brain injury. He had his macular degeneration. He goes, yeah, but you both did. He goes, and we know Lizzie's the one who's going to have to hold up those vows. And Denny's like, that's why I don't think we should get married. And Doc looks at him like, what are you talking about? He goes, oh, and he takes a chair and he sits down. He's like, okay, this is going to have to be a conversation. He goes, now, does Lizzie feel the same way? He goes, well, we haven't talked about it for a while. But I mean, after today, with a baby on the way, I just think I need to start planning for some kind of long-term care for me so that when the time comes, and Doc's like, you have people around you who love you very, very much. You will not be alone in this. He's like, I know. But when my symptoms start, I'm not going to be a burden to Lizzie or the baby. He goes, well, love can be a burden. That's a lot to think about. That's a
Yeah.
lot for the future. So the ladies are at a new location. Looks like a club. They're all having shots, having a good time. Everybody's laughing. And it's a karaoke bar. So there's karaoke in the background. And Mel takes a drink and she's like, oh my God, Joey, do you remember Halloween in Koreatown? I vaguely remember too much tequila, she says. Well, we don't want to make a repeat of that, so I'm going to switch to vodka. And a lot of soda, please. And Mel's like, so Joey broke a karaoke machine. And they're all like, what? And Bree's like, okay, I need to hear that story. She goes, oh, and we also coined nicknames for our drunk alter egos that night. And the girls are looking at them. She goes, no, do not go there. And the women start laughing. She goes, Sloppy Joe. She goes, no, I do not stand by that nickname. She goes, this is amazing. Go on. She goes, okay, so Joey decides to sing Graduation by Vitamin C. She goes, okay. As a tribute to Mel, Joey says, she just graduated from Chapman. And they're all like, aw, go Panthers. Because remember, Bree went there too. She goes, but it turns out Joey does not know the lyrics. Mel further explains, and Joey's like, well, because there's a lot of rap in it. And so I was just kind of reading all the words and dying of embarrassment. And then I decided to go all in and just scream into the mic. And bam, all the power went out. So we hightailed it out of there and they charged me for the damage. She goes, yeah, side of the road, trying to hail a cab, and no one would pick us up. She goes, I stuck my thumb out in the middle of K-Town, dressed like Baby Spice, mind you. She goes, and this heavy metal band. She goes, oh my God, wait, hold on. I can't believe I forgot to tell you this. She's like, that is how Everett met my mom. She was hitchhiking. Isn't that crazy? And Bree's like, oh, that's cute. And Mel's laughing, and she goes, yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy? And Joey's facial expressions just changed. Like, this whole thing with Everett is very hard for her because they thought they had the same mother and the same father. And come to find out, now they're only half sisters. And Mel has embraced this new person in her life, and they no longer have their mom and their dad or the person who raised her. And so it's kind of leaving Joey out in the cold. And Joey is really feeling it. It's kind of sad. I mean, I don't think definitely doesn't mean to do all that, but it's not coming off very good. Like, Mel is not, what's the word? She's not really thinking about Joey. Not that, she should have to, but I don't know. I feel like she should take some consideration to how Joey's feeling about all of this.
I agree. I totally agree. I think the thing about it is Mel has got herself caught up in the excitement of having a parent. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
You know, she hasn't had a parent for so long, and the fact that now she has one in her life, she isn't being aware of the other people. Well,
Yeah,
the
the
other
impact
people.
that this is having on
Yeah,
everybody else. Yeah.
right. And the thing about it is, while Joey tends to be very strong, this, I believe, is a very sensitive subject for her because
Yeah.
to her, the man and the woman who raised them is their parent.
Right. They
You
were
know,
they were in this together. They lost their parents
right,
together. Their father died
right,
10 years ago together, and now Mel is sort of splitting off. And that
right,
feels
right.
very weird.
Yeah.
And something that Mel says, she said something, and Joey's like, you said my mom, not our mom. And I don't even think she realized she said it. It just sort of
Oh
came
no.
out.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I don't think she realized that.
And she's like, "Oh wait, I
Oh,
did," and she like she didn't even realize it. And you could tell Kaya and Bree are kind of
and
like getting that
oh yeah.
feeling. So the DJ's like, we're gonna take a quick break, and everybody's looking uncomfortable. And the DJ is like, and then Mel and Joey, you're on deck. And Mel like tries to correct herself, because she said my mom when she should have said our mom. And she's like, oh, but she goes, the guy's like, come up and choose your song. And so they kind of like breeze over it as Kaya and Bree are whoop whooping. They're going up to choose a song, and Bree yells, beer chaser. And Kaya's like, hell yes. So they go up to the bar, and they're like, 2 beers, please, sir. And Bree's like, you think our guys are getting this wild? And Kaya's like, I don't know if Mike and Preacher are quite the wild type.
That's probably true. They're the wild ones.
She's like, Brady, maybe. And Bree is like, stop. She goes, that cop and firefighter confusion was just, I don't know what, a Freudian slip. And Kaya's like, no judgment. Brady's hot. He goes, yeah, well, Mike's hot too. He goes, yeah, I meant like in a dangerous way, you know? She was kind of like my ex was. And Bree's like, he was? She's like, mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, Jay was like fire. Unpredictable, hypnotic, fun to play with. Breeze, you could tell the wheels are turning.
Mm-hmm.
And Bree's agreeing, like, yeah, that's totally Brady. That's
Brady.
yep, that sums it up. She
Mm-hmm.
goes, until I got burned, just like you did with Brady. And Bree's like, 2 hour stablemen. And Kai's like, here. As her phone chimes, she's looking at it. She goes, slow down there, Boozy Bree. It's her new name. And then Kaya looks at her phone and she's like, oh no. And Bree's like, what? She's like, Hunky Hank just texted. He's there. She goes, what? He didn't get my voicemail. She goes, so we did not cancel? And Kaya's like, we did not cancel. So a stripper is supposed to show up where the ladies are supposed to be, but they changed their plans. And so the two of them are cracking up. She goes, well, someone's about to get a hell of a surprise. And the girls are just laughing and they're just drinking to it. So the ladies remember, they're having their own little bachelorette party at the bar. Now, the bar's probably closed by now.
Oh, God.
Because Jack's out, Preacher's out, everybody's away, and they're just using the place. And, Hope will lock up. No big deal. Okay, so the ladies, because they're having their own little party, Joellen's like, okay, Muriel, you're up. Best you ever had. And they're all with wine. She goes, well, now that's not going to be a hard one. And I know you're going to think I'm cheap. And Joellen kind of chuckles. She goes, Little Debbie Swiss roll. And Connie's like, what are we talking about? Dessert. She goes, oh, like a bunch of old tired biddies. Let's play for real. Because that's from Hope. She goes, best you ever had in bed. And they're all like, oh. And Connie is like, I hardly think that's, she goes, ladies' night appropriate? I would say it is. Wouldn't you, Muriel? And Muriel's like, I totally agree. But I think you need to go first. She goes, fine, I will. And Hope's like, Vernon. And Joellen's like, aw. And if you want specifics? Connie, we do not. She goes, last Thursday. A spontaneous urge in the middle of the day. And the look on Connie's face is of mortification. Like, ew, I don't want to know this about you. And
look at everybody else. It's just
and Hope is like, and those don't come around as often anymore. And she's kind of like, so it's sure nice when they do.
Oh,
And all the ladies start giggling. Oh my God, they're laughing so hard. And she's like, okay, I'm thinking you might be next there, Joellen. Muriel tells her. And Joellen's like, well, I've only ever been with Nick, so I'm not sure I can really play this game. But if you ever wondered why the honeymoon suite in the B&B is booked every Wednesday night, and everyone shocked. And Connie's like, I have never wondered that. Oh my gosh. They're all just like freaking out. See, this is a little alcohol. She goes, they don't call it hump day for nothing. And they're all cracking up. Oh my gosh. She's like, what I'm trying to say is that our sex life has gotten better recently too. And well, I mean, it's not as acrobatic as it used to be. And we have to work around a few things. Oh my God. But it all just makes it more intimate.
Oh,
sweet, really,
God.
which I prefer. Connie is just mortified. She goes, all right. Cameron was mine, this is Muriel. But he was not sweet, which I prefer. So now we're getting somewhere. Connie, you're next. A woman's intimate life should be private.
Oh, Lord.
And Lydia's like, ugh, you're just saying that because you don't have an intimate life. She goes, oh, and you do? Well, I did with Herb. She goes, aw. And I may have dabbled since. And they're all looking at her like, but, she says, best I had was my first love. He was such a romantic, a real romantic. Made me feel like I was the only girl in the world. And Muriel's like, aw. She goes, Walt made me feel that way on our date. I mean, we didn't have sex, at least not then. She goes, but I mean, right? Oh my God, these ladies are so funny. She goes, maybe the best is yet to come. Hope holds her hand and she looks at her and she goes, so then Hannah walks up. Oh my gosh, Hannah is hilarious. So Hannah walks up. She goes, okay, horn dogs, time to go. And they're like, what a party pooper. Can't you see we're having a moment here? She goes, do you have to close up? She goes, why? She goes, yes, I do. And then all of a sudden, a voice from the back is like, all right, ladies, we've got a problem here. The cop walks in. He called the cops, Hannah, and he puts the music down and he rips his shirt open. And the ladies are like, oh, she goes, which one of you is Mel? And everybody's pointing to Muriel and they make her raise her hand. They point to her. He gets his handcuffs. He goes, what? You little devil.
Oh, Lord.
And he walks over to her. And he's like, hi. And he grabs her chair and spins it around. He goes, oh, my. And he takes his shirt off and he starts dancing around. And she's swaying in her chair. And everybody's just cracking up. She goes, how does he do that? She goes, can I touch it? And he puts his hat on her. And he holds her hands on him. He's like, and some of the girls are like, I've never seen anything like this. And then he pulls his pants off and he's got like these sparkly shorts on. It's hilarious.
Come to Mel.
I know. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. All the ladies are cackling. It's so funny. So the guys look like they're at dinner. Brady's like, can you pass me the hot sauce? Looks like they're eating ribs. He goes, we got our asses handed to us by those kids. He goes, yeah. And one of the guys is like, blame it on those damn video games. And the guy's like, right? He goes, we would have had a shot if Brady hadn't gone rogue. And they're like, yeah, classic Brady. And Brady's kind of gets a little offended. He's like, what's that supposed to mean? And he's like, nothing. He goes, no, I'm serious. What? Because this is him and Mike. He goes, geez, man, relax, okay? And Preacher's like, all right, who's up for some more ribs? And Jack's like, count me in. He goes, and Brady kind of yells at Mike. He goes, I didn't go rogue and Mosel, okay? And Mike looks at him, dead stare. He goes, you kind of did. And Preacher's like, guys, we're not doing this here. Brady looks at Mike and he goes, I went in because I trusted you. It was your intel and you screwed me just like you did with what? And he goes, oh, sorry, forget it. Like, now he's gonna like bite his tongue a little bit. He's like, just forget it, never mind. And Mike is like, no, come on. And he stands up. He goes, say it, tough guy. And he gets to the end of the table, kind of overpowering Brady a little bit because he's standing up. And he's like, I said forget it. So remember, there was something going on between them. It was a conversation they had a while back.
Yeah, way back in
right when Brady was drunk, and there you knew that there was something that happened between them, but they never fleshed it out. They never really had a conversation, and we knew that there was, for some reason, it was like Mike wasn't as clean as everyone thought he was. Like something happened and maybe only Brady's the one that knew about it. So maybe this is what this is about.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. So Mike gets right up to Brady and he's like, I took a bullet for you, man. But you're always acting like everyone's out to get you. Guess what? Only person who's ever screwed up your life is you. Brady's starting to get pissed. Mike's still standing up kind of over him.
Yeah. With a superior sort of situation, which
and then good. Yep, Brady reacts. He grabs him to go to punch him, and all the guys jump. And Jack's like, no. And the guys are like, hey, and Jack jumps in between them before any punches get thrown. They don't want to get kicked out. And he looks at Mike, and he looks at Brady. Two of the guys are holding one of them. Two of the guys are holding the other. And so that got tense real fast. So now we go to the karaoke bar. And Joey and Mel are up on the stage singing karaoke, and they're singing Hit Me With Your Best Shot, which is really hilarious. And Mel's got her bride-to-be sash on, and they're singing at the top of their lungs, the two of them. Oh, my gosh. And then one guy is like, hey, Blondie, you suck. Tell your friend to get off the stage. And Mel, who's drunk by this time, she's like, hey, excuse me, sir. This is not my friend. This is my sister. We have the same mom. And the guy's like, yeah, I know how sisters work. Who cares? She goes, I care. She is my sister and my best friend. And she goes over to her and she goes, I care. She goes, and my matron of honor. I love her. So you, sir, and your Tommy Bahamas coconut shirt from the Midlife Crisis catalog can kiss my, and just before she says ass, Joey gets her off the stage. Oh my gosh, these two. Everyone is so drunk. All the ladies, like all the ladies, the older ladies, the younger ladies.
It's more ladies' night than it is.
Right? It really is. Like the guys aren't even doing like the whole thing.
And,
like there's no strippers, there's no club, there's no like liquor with the guys. They're just like paintball and dinner so far. And Joey's like, okay, we're gonna let ourselves out. Thank you, bye, and gets her off the stage. And Mel sticks her tongue out at the guy as she leaves. Oh my gosh. So the guys are sitting around the table. They're all a little pissed. Jack's a little pissed. Everybody's a little down. And Jack's like, this happens every single time we get together and nothing changes. And he's pissed. He's like, I mean, you guys are lucky we didn't get kicked out. And one of the guys is like, come on, Jacko. We're supposed to be having fun. Jack's like, yeah? This feels like fun to you? He goes, what about you guys? Lots of fun? He's like, war screwed us up. All of us. And every time we get together, it's just the same old shit. And it's not going to stop, guys. It's not going to stop until we stop it. And if we don't, we may as well go right back to Mosul. We might as well have never made it home, okay? But we did. We made it home. So this is like an intervention, pep talk, and because he's one of the only, I know preachers had therapy, but Jack's had therapy recently. And so he's been given a lot to think about, a lot to deal with, all of his problems. He's really been diving deep. And now that he's not drinking anymore, that's probably why they didn't go drinking, because Jack can't drink. He's the groom. he's really like learned how to deal with his problems, and he does not want to keep doing this with them. He's like, we made it home, and that means something. I mean, he almost looks like he's going to cry. He goes, but if we're stuck back there, it doesn't mean shit. And we're not those guys anymore anyway. So come on, starting tonight, can we please just put the war behind us? And Preacher's like, Jack's right. I mean, that was all in the past. We are still brothers, and we have been since the day we were deployed, and we always will be. And man, we are the lucky ones, all right? So what do y'all think? Can we salvage this night and have a bit more fun? And the guys are like, yes, please, yes. He goes, all right, good, because there's one thing about deployment I do miss. And we don't know what that is because now we are back at the karaoke bar. Mel is following Joey up the stairs, and Joey's like, okay, that was really sweet. But what was that back there? And Mel's like, what? That guy was being a total ass. I was just defending you. She goes, you were acting like a lunatic. She goes, okay, says the woman throwing an axe like a serial killer. She goes, well, I've never thrown an axe before, okay? She goes, Joey, I know you're upset. She goes, you're right. Okay, I am. Most of our lives, it's just been you and me. And now you have a new sister and a new dad. And mom is like this stranger I never even knew. Our mom, who cheated on our dad, right? And yeah, it's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. And Mel's like, oh, Joey, I'm so sorry. She gives her a big hug. I mean, deep down, they're still on the same side. They're still sisters. They're still going to be there for each other. But this has been tough. They've been the only ones in each other's lives for the last 10 years. And now they've got this.
Yeah, well, that's the point I was making earlier, is that they were each other's rock. And now it seems like, this new person's come into Mel's life and Joey feels like she's an outsider.
Yeah, and she's not. She's just, it's like Mel's heart is big enough for everybody. Joey just has to embrace that. And that's hard. It's hard. She has to share her. And that's something she hasn't had to do for 10 years. I think that's the part that she's having the most trouble with. And Mel's like, I didn't mean to. I would never. And Joey's like, I know. Because she knows her. She goes, look, I gave you those letters because I know how much you want a big, happy family. She goes, and I want that for you. Because keep in mind, Joey was married. She's got 3 kids. So her life is very, very different from Mel, who was married. Yeah. Her husband died, and now she has Jack, but she's had 5 miscarriages.
Exactly. She doesn't have the family that Joey has.
Right. Joey's got something to fall back on where
Mel has nothing.
Mel doesn't. And Mel's just now getting a taste of it with Jack and Jack's family and now Everett. So it's like something that Joey went through 10, because you figure her kids are like about 10 years old. So when the father died, Joey was in the midst of like getting married and having kids. And so she's had that buffer for 10 years. But you figure Mel has been dealing with her husband who died and all the miscarriages for the 10 years. So it's a very different life. And so as much as Joey is sad about it, she gets it. She knows how much Mel needs this. And she's just got to find a way to like be okay with it all. She will. I mean, it'll be fine. But it's just, it's hard watching Mel transition to like having her own life, which is basically what it is. She's finally getting everything that she's wanted. And so Joey's like, I just didn't expect to lose you in the process, that's all. Which she's not. She goes, you're never going to lose me. She goes, you're everything to me. She goes, and nothing is ever going to change that. Not DNA, not Jack's family, especially not some drunk guy in a bar who thinks you're a bad singer. They both start laughing. She goes, I am a bad singer. She goes, I know, you really are. She goes, I just love karaoke.
Yeah, the ones who have the worst voices usually are the ones who love karaoke.
And Mel's like, I just love you. Joey's like, listen, I'm so happy for you. She goes, I really am. It's just going to take some getting used to. And Mel's like, okay. She goes, you know what I want? She goes, what I really, really want? And the 4 of them are getting up there singing the Spice Girls song. They've got Kaya and Bree and Mel and Joey singing Spice Girls.
It's a really great girl song.
It's an awesome song. It's an awesome karaoke song, too. They're so funny. They're dancing, just singing their hearts out. Oh, my gosh. It's a perfect song for them. It really is. Such fun. Now the guys have gone to the football field. They went and they turned the lights on so that they could see in the dark to play. And they're like, here we go. Mike is like, Brady, listen, about before. You were right. You trusted me in Mosul, and I broke that trust. I thought I earned that trust back. And Brady's like, no, you did. You did. Just Bree. And he's like, yeah, Bree's always going to be a sore spot. I know. Mike's like, Jack's right. We're not the same men we used to be. We've both moved on, right? And Brady's like, yeah. And so the guys are like, all right, let's play. Let's get into this. So Jack's like, all right, we're just waiting for one more. Oh, there he is. And it's Ricky. And Ricky's running onto the field and he's like, Jack, what's going on? I thought this was your bachelor party. He goes, well, it is. And I wanted to spend it with my brothers, which includes you.
Oh,
Now
how
that
how
I know.
sweet.
He goes, now that you're a Marine, you are part of the Brotherhood for life. And it occurred to me that before you ship out, we got to bring you up to speed. All the guys are standing together. It's so cool. He goes, because although boot camp did prepare you to fight with honor, courage, and commitment, it did not prepare you for the downtime. And he throws him the ball. He goes, let's go. Let's do this. So they're hiking the ball. They're running around. And Ricky, ooh, he's fast. Throwing, hiking.
He's also probably
20.
15 years younger than they are.
Probably a lot more. I think he's like 20 and these guys are like 45.
Exactly.
They're throwing the ball, catching the ball, trying to get away. Oh no. They're dropping the ball. They're not even really playing. They're just like throwing each other around. It's like 4 against 4, which is much better that Ricky showed up. A couple of dog piles. Mike taking off for a touchdown. I mean, this is really good bonding for them. They needed to, do this. A lot of good laughing, a lot of good fun. Now they look like they're beat. They look so tired.
They're old men.
Yeah. Jack says to Preacher, I'm really glad you're having fun. And he goes, yeah, it felt good. And Jack is like to Preacher, listen, thank you for tonight. He goes, of course, brother. He goes, that's what a best man is for. Gives him a nice big bro hug. He's like, see you tomorrow. And Ricky's like, listen, thanks for inviting me. If my unit's anything like yours, I think I'll be all right. And he goes, no, you're going to do great, kid. Look, we're all rooting for you. And we will be till you come home. And he salutes him. And Jack's like, hey, hey. And he gives him a big hug. Aw. Because he's scared for him. God, both of them are in tears. Goodness. Because he's going to be deployed.
And now it's more like a father-son movement.
Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Definitely. The last two to leave the field together, arm in arm. Nice. So all the girls are back at the karaoke bar. We've got beer and martinis and all kinds of drinks. And Joey walks up and she's like, okay, what's next? I'm thinking Walking on Sunshine. And they're like, yes. She goes, wait, where's Bree? Now, Bree is on the phone. Now, she's drunk. Everybody's drunk. And she picks up the phone and she's making a phone call. She's like, hey, you. She's like, I know you're still out with Jack and the guys, but I guess I wanted to hear your voice because I can't stop thinking about you. So there's that. And she laughs. She goes, I'm drunk, so this message will self-destruct in 30 seconds. Bye. And I have a feeling that message was not for Mike. Yeah, drunk texting and drunk calling is probably not something people should do.
Never do.
Oh my God.
And take it from me, I've done it once in my life. Yeah, it's not a good experience.
No, you should never do that.
Never do that.
So Brady goes to the B&B and he's knocking on Lark's door. And she opens the door and she's like, hey. And he's like, sorry, I know it's super late, but this couldn't wait. So I'm not good with trust, okay? But I want you to trust me. So I need to trust you. I do trust you. She's smiling a little bit and she's like, good. He goes, me and you, we didn't come from good homes or happy families, but that is why, as he holds her hand, that is why we get each other like nobody else can. She actually looks a little teary. He goes, that is why I want to build a real home for you and Hazel. As he smiles, he goes, I want to make you happy because I'm falling in love with you. She's like shocked. She goes, I'm just going to leave it there. I don't want to wake Hazel. He kisses her hands. He goes, I'll see you tomorrow. She goes, Brady, wait. And she gives him a kiss, like a lot of kisses. She goes, I'm falling in love with you too. A little more kissing, a lot more kissing. Yeah, it's a shame we can't trust her. And she looks at the door and he's like, okay, yeah, you go. And she's like, good night. And she shuts the door. So he's feeling real good about this. Like, he's like, oh, I'm finally moving on and this and that. And then
Hmm.
his phone vibrates and he gets a message, Bree's voicemail.
Oh boy.
And he's listening to it. And you know his heart is stopping as he looks back at Lark's door, like, oh God, I hope she can't hear this. Like, at
Yeah.
the same time, we are back at the cabin. This is hilarious. So Jack is putting away his boots and all of his stuff that he, took to play paintball. And he goes, oh, there's my bride to be. And she's got her cowboy hat on and she's swinging her purse around because she's very drunk. Now, Alex Breckenridge, who plays Mel, she had said in one of her podcasts, she goes, she was so excited to play drunk Mel. Like she's a really good like drunk Mel, and so she could not wait for the opportunity. So she was super excited to do this scene because Mel is like plastered and having a good time. So just thought I'd throw that in. And she goes, oh my God, I'm so happy to be home. And she's like barely able to hang up her purse and kind of like sloshing around. And he goes, oh, it was a little bit rough at first, but then it was amazing. And he's looking at her as she's trying to walk over to him. He goes, oh yeah. And I got in a bar fight and she like throws herself on him and he's like, what? She goes, no, 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 shh. She goes, we whatever happens at the bachelorette party stays at the bachelorette. And she's so drunk, she's like falling on him. And she's like, how was your night? And she sits down in a chair. He's like, rough at first, but yeah, it turned out great. And she crosses her legs and she's kind of like, she's just so loosey goosey, right? And she's got her cowboy hat on. And he goes, I made a decision about the wedding. And she's like, oh, yeah? And he goes, yeah, no dress blues. I want to focus on our future. And she's like, oh, okay. And she goes, well, you look sexy no matter what you wear or don't wear. She goes, well, and he's like, oh, really? She goes, really? He goes, apparently I was supposed to have a stripper tonight as he's helping her take her boots off because she's clearly in no shape to do much of anything. And he's like, oh, She's like, yeah, but I guess your bride-to-be can't have everything. And he looks at her very intensely and he pulls out his phone and he looks at it and he picks a song and he starts playing it and he puts it on the floor and she starts laughing. She goes, what are you doing? And it's the song Pony, which is a pretty provocative song.
It is.
Very provocative. And he gets up and he comes real close to her and he starts shimmying back and forth. And he goes, what does it look like I'm doing? And he grabs her hat and pulls the string down. And he goes, oh, I really wanted a stripper. And she gets all excited. He takes her hat off and he puts it on. And he goes, howdy, ma'am. And she's giggling, like hysterically giggling. He starts unbuttoning his shirt.
I could imagine how this went over when they were
Right?
taping
I
this.
wonder how many times they had to do it. And he starts shaking. He turns around and shows his back to her and looks at her from the front. And she's dancing. And he takes his shirt off one side. She's cracking up. Takes it off the other side. And he's swinging his shirt around and throws it at her.
I'm sorry, Jack.
It's so funny.
Jack as a stripper.
It's hilarious. And then he takes his belt off and he pulls it through the straps and pulls it taut and he puts it around her neck and pulls her close to him. And then he puts the hat back on her and then he leans over her and he starts kissing her neck, which is so funny because she's laughing. And she goes to grab his hair and he's like, no, no, no. And she's like, what? Like she's disappointed. He goes, touching is extra. And she has this sad face with the pouty lip and everything. And he goes, well, then again, what do they say on the ranch? And she goes, I don't know. What do they say? And then he stands her up and he grabs her and he picks her up so she's like straddling him. And he goes, save a horse, ride a cowboy. And he's dancing around holding her. She takes her hat off and she's like, oh my God, this is my cowgirl moment. And they land on the bed. Oh my gosh. So funny. And that's it. Those two.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot sexier this season.
and a lot more fun.
Yeah,
With a little,
we needed it. Oh, season 5 was rough. That's why we need all
uh,
this fun and party. And they're going to have a few moments where things are rough, but, you know,
yeah.
they need to
Let's
have
not talk about
fun.
season 5. I feel like I think about season 5 and I want to gamble.
I know,
Uh,
I know. It was rough. But guess what? We've made it this far. That, like I said, the first 3 episodes were Preacher's trial. We got that over with. He's okay. Everybody's okay. You know, they're building the farm. You know, they're building the house. They're building the barn. They're going to have a beautiful wedding. And we've got, you know, half a dozen episodes of fun ahead of us.
I
So,
hope so.
yeah,
Let's see. All
it'll
right,
be
folks.
awesome. Well, there you go. Now we've had our bachelor and bachelorette parties. We're going through all the stages of the wedding. Remember, it's 3 weeks to the wedding. There's a lot that has to be done, and we're going to go through all of it. Should be fun. We will be back for another episode of more wedding prep.
Mhm.
6 more episodes of wedding prep. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right. Well, thank you, Gigi, once again.
You're most welcome. Au revoir, folks.
All right. Have yourself a great day. And thank you again for listening. By the way, we've reached over 7,500 downloads for our podcast. That means over 7,500 times somebody has listened to us yammer on and talk of the show. So
Woo-hoo.
that's awesome. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. We appreciate it. We're just going to keep going until we don't have anything else to talk about, which may never happen, but that's okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. Bye bye.